character is Columbina. She's one of the servants and pretty much the only female servant that gets a decent look in. She can also be occasionally used as one of the lovers or as the daughter of one of the servants, but most often, one of the masters, but most often she is a servant. She's very cute and very voluptuous, and she knows that her value is actually in how she looks. As a servant, she doesn't have much else to play with, so she uses her feminine wiles to get what she needs when she needs it. She's also very intelligent. So she's the smartest servant. She can be very manipulative and very sneaky when she has to be, and she often rights the wrongs and sorts things out when they get too messy.
And I think that's a really interesting point for the character because she knows how beautiful she is and she knows how to essentially use her assets, like you see her feminine wiles, and manipulate a lot of the, servants, which are typically those older men, to really manipulate them to get what she wants.
Yeah. And in a time where women didn't have any kind of rights at all, and like literally property, she used what she had, and this is what she had. So her poses very clearly show that she knows what she can do with her body. So her first pose, she often walks with a little flick of her foot. She's very, very elegant in the way she moves, and she walks with a little flick of her foot, and it says at the end of the Granzani walk, but basically most characters have their hands behind their backs, especially the servants, and that is actually how they often move around the space. The male characters often have their feet tucked out, but for someone like Columbina, she walks with a little bit of a flick of her foot to sort of show the line of her body as she's moving. So as she walks around the space, she might even move her hips around a little bit, just to sort of show that flow of her body moving as she's walking.
All of those angles.
All of those little angles.
Very typical of ballet kind of positions.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so when she stands, she'll be quite, she might stand in a ballet position, which back then probably wasn't even referred to as such, but that kind of,
Yes.
Would you like to take us through how she might stand?
Yes, absolutely. So she has a fairly upright posture. So she really sits into her hip. So she pushes her hip out, typically has kind of like a straighter leg here, so it's like a hip pop to really accentuate obviously behind, hands behind her back, and she leans forward as well. So she sits here. So, and that is quite a central position, so then we can bow from there or start to manipulate our hands like waddle around as well, or swan around perhaps.
Swan. Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
And it also accentuates any kind of curves that she does have to make it very clear that that's what she's doing.
Yes.
But for us, simple little things like how she stands really create that idea of who she is as a character and what she's using.
Yeah.
She always has her hips cocked outward. She always tries to use her bust to lead her. Often characters are led with particular body parts. She's often leading with her bust. So that
and it's always
that's
open and outward.
Very open and outward.
Definitely.
She's very aware of what she's using when she's using it.
And then we have our hands to obviously accentuate that as well. So here, also again, straight arms, but really like pushing your chest
and
out.
accentuating the chest area by pushing elbows in. Often.
In.
But only do what you're comfortable